Welcome back to Why Civilizations Start Over. In this episode, we're going to be following up on the Cold War and starting in Africa. Now, I have the Alliance layer up for a reason and the UN layer. If you notice, the UN is largely not present in Central Africa, and the Communist Accord and the Fascist Order are both scared of the UN. The Fascist Order are gonna make an offer to the Communists. Let's work together to expand our influences for now. And Communists ask, where do we start? And that's when a war is gonna break out in Africa. So, without any warning at all, because it's the fascists, they will enter into the CAU, the Central African Union, and the communists will enter into the north. Meanwhile, Mali is getting the go-ahead to launch their own invasion into this pink team. Oh, how generous of the communists to allow imperialism. And yeah, large invasions happen here. What's this pink country's name? Mali. Yeah, Mali has been invaded many times, and they are fully invaded. Meanwhile, yeah, the communists and the fascists take over Central African Union, and Algeria sees this. They bring this issue to the UN. They don't want to start a major war, but they don't want restless country to fall to radicalism. So Algeria will be permitted to send forces in to capture restless country. Now the fascists will immediately start blitzing downwards, cut the country in half. They will give some occupation to the communists over here, so they can try cut off Algeria, but Algeria manages cut them off. And yeah, the fascist order and the UN basically carve up the rest of this country. And let's look at the peace treaty. And the decision that is forced upon the fascist or in the communist accord, because the UN knows that they are afraid of the UN. They're like, we're gonna split this up into occupation zones. Nobody's annexing anything. And the Communist Accord and the Fascists were mad about this. And the UN tells Algeria to keep fighting. And not in the Central African Union territory. Oh, yeah, right in this line team. Yeah, Algeria is way stronger, and Mali is allowed to come back. They wanted that color, but they are now. And the communists and fascists see this and they're like, okay, we agree these terms. And they accept this treaty. One condition, that both, I'm sorry, I can't talk English hard. But what's this country's name? Nigeria will be forced back into democracy. And this really makes the communists mad, because a neutral country just got involved in this war and took away one of their members. So the communists will be like, okay, we're gonna just, hey, Florida, those elections, they look pretty good. How's it going? And Florida's like, they're going really well. Oh, that's why you were asking. Yep, the communists managed to rig an election in Florida, which causes Florida to join the Communist Accord. And now North America is basically a giant, like, World War when it happened, because it's completely divided. And yeah. Now, what isn't so divided is Europe. Europe's actually being very stable right now. Like, longest it's ever been stable and prosperous in this world's history. The economic alliances are doing really well, and they are seeing a lot of success up here. So much so that the economic alliance they have rapidly expands within a year, adding Belgium, Switzerland, Austria, Czechia, Moldova, Romania, and, interestingly enough, Greece and Turkey. Now, why do I say interestingly enough? Because historically, Turkey and Russia haven't gotten along. They are in the UN though, but they make a surprising request. If we're allowed in your economic alliance, then we're gonna join your military alliance to combat the fascists and the communists on their border. And the communists at this point are like, alright, we're done. And the communist accord basically makes this Afghan alliance into a full-on alliance at this point, with Florida, Carolina, and New York to join the military alliance over here, basically making the Communist Accord a military alliance at its heart. Now, new communist nations won't need to join this military alliance, and interestingly enough, the 3 Russian countries don't join, because it may have been bad luck for the Communist Accord. They made a massive military alliance, and Russia, suddenly does this. Yeah, Russia invades into Belarus, and they don't annex it. That's not even Russia. Silly me, that's Moscow, because I'm very bad at naming separate regions of Russia. But Belarus is forced to become communists. Now, why isn't Russia, like, on the same terms of this alliance? Well, it's mainly because Russia wants to just have one regional alliance here, like to all the countries that are actually touching, and the Communist Accord will allow this, because as long as they stay in the Communist Accord, they're fine with this. So Russia will be forming their own alliance. And that's not Russia still, that's Moscow. Well, the Russian region will. So, oh, everything's terrible. I messed up. Everything's ruined. Season's canceled. So yeah. So, what should I name this alliance? The European Communist Pact. Yeah. Very unoriginal, I know. But it's me. And I said it. It's law now. I don't care if you don't like it. You're gonna unsubscribe? Okay, that part I do care about. So give me a better name if you don't like that name. But yeah. The communists are very militaristic now. And Europe's afraid. Asia's afraid. So much so that since China is in the UN now, they might as well be in India's alliance. So they joined India's military alliance. And yeah, a lot of stuff's going south. Especially when another election is rigged in I almost said the Yukon. Idiot. Stupid. So yeah, the fascist order gains another member, and rapidly, Cold War is really heating up. Especially when, some more elections get rigged by both the communists and the fascists, because they're very pissed off at the UN and they kind of want a little bit of revenge. So, what's gonna happen? Well, these three countries are having elections, and Ethiopia's suddenly fascist. Well, that's bad. South Sudan's communist. Okay, that's really bad. Somalia's fascist. And Kenya is communist. But now this is where the communist order and the fascist pact stop having this deal. Because the fascists are like, okay, we won that whole region. We're not helping you out anymore. So now there's tensions between the communists and the fascists. And the whole world that is neutral currently is like, okay, this is gonna escalate into a whole world war. And a lot of countries will respond by finally picking sides in this. The entirety of, that's wrong shape. The entirety of South America will rejoin the UN because they do not want fascism or communism on their continent. They only want monarchism, monarchy, whatever you would call that. They don't want that either, but they are willing to keep them if they're peaceful. the monarchs understand that's how they feel. But also Vietnam, Thailand, the two Philippine island nations, Taiwan will join the UN. So yeah, the UN has also massively expanded. Now, what would trigger something big to happen? Three things. One of these global orders attacks another, and that would immediately cause World War Six. Algeria's plan over here with the Central African Union gets violated. That would immediately cause World War Six. And the invention of, well, not the invention, the reintroduction of nuclear bombs. So the UN makes a firm stance. We will uphold the original UN's nuclear ban on all of our members. If the fascist order or communist accord develops any nukes, we will immediately declare war. And the communist accord and the fascist order see this as a huge violation to their sovereignty. So, in response, multiple wars in small countries break out, and they're like, you're gonna stop us from having nukes, but we will continue to expand. Kuwait falls to the fascists. Cuba will fall to the communists, mainly for the whole communist accords helping them. And even Yucatan will fall to Florida. And all these small nations will be forced to switch their ideologies. So, yeah. No. Florida will make these two communists. Over here, what's gonna happen is a little bit of the funny. Oh, that circle no longer exists. Here, there's that capital. Why is that? Oh, Iraq. You scamp. How dare you? How dare you annex that whole country? So, yeah.
You're requiring everyone.
Oh, Jesus. I just started playing a YouTube video because such notification on my phone. Sorry about that. So, yeah. Yeah. The communists and the fascists are angry. And this just escalates tensions even more. Because, yeah, the UN doesn't like this. The Communist Accord's pissed off that the UN will threaten them. The fascist order just hates everybody. So, yeah. The world is starting to go shit. Especially with our final of the video. You see, there's been a country in Asia that hasn't really been supportive of the UN. They don't like it. And they decide they want neutrality. They tell the communists and the fascists that they're officially neutral now. And they want to change their ideology. Now, what are they changing it to? This Uh, this like light gray color. What does this mean? That's definitely spelled wrong, but they're gonna become isolationists. Like, basically, they're not gonna, like, have anything do with the outside world. And to, like, further cement it, I'm gonna make their, country's color into the color of their government icon. So yeah, Tibet is officially like staying out of this. And it's not just gonna be them like claiming neutrality. Because there's gonna be another country. Well, two countries. Uh Greenland will become isolationists. Also, they won't they do not want anything to do with the rest of the world right now. And also, interestingly enough, Scotland will as well. So all the isolated countries will be represented by like lighter grays and these icons. And this comes as a major shock to the UN mainly because they didn't really expect these countries be like, we're out, we're done, we're not dealing with anything like this. So yeah, there's now four very no 5 very prevalent ideologies in the world now, and that'll do it for this episode.